Soft vinyl crackle spreads slowly across the stereo field, barely noticeable at first, like a memory trying to surface. A deep, warm pad fades in, thick, velvet-like, carrying a subtle emotional. A distant reverse texture swells and collapses in slow motion. Low-frequency air begins to move underneath, not quite a bass line yet, just presence. A filtered kick pulse emerges, soft and rounded, almost like a heartbeat heard through walls. Tiny percussive details flicker in and out, brushed hats, distant clicks, barely there. A gentle analog synth note repeats with slight pitched human. Reverb tails stretch long, dissolving into purple haze. Everything feels close, but already slightly slipping. I felt you closer than before, but not in the way that stays. More like a moment leaning in, then slowly turning into space. Your hand was warm against my skin, but something underneath had changed. Like time was bending out of shape, like nothing wanted to remain. You didn't move, you didn't leave. You stayed inside that fragile line between what could have still been real and what was fading out of time. I try to hold it in my breath, to keep it somewhere we could stay, but every second stretched too far and pulled the feeling half away. Your fingers traced a softer path, but didn't press the way they used to. Like something in you pulled back slow, while still pretending it was true. I didn't ask you what it meant, I felt it deeper than a word. The kind of silence in a touch that's louder than what could be heard. And in that quiet something broke, but not enough to make a sound, just small enough to stay inside and never fully hit the ground. You were still there, I could feel, but not the way you were before. Like standing right inside the light while watching shadows take the floor. A deep rolling bass line finally locks in. Warm, rounded, subtle swing. Pads widen and breathe slower. A soft pluck melody enters, repeating with delicate variations, slightly detuned, in motion. Faint shakers drifting left to right. Soft claps buried deep in reverb. Ghost hits that feel more like memory than rhythm. Just space movement and tension that never fully resolves. Your touch is fading slowly now, still on my skin but slipping out. I feel it breaking into air, like you were here but not quite there. Your touch is moving out of time, still feels like yours but not like Everything feels close, but already slightly slipping. I felt you closer than before. From the fading tale of part one, a low filtered bards, but deeper, more grounded now. A subtle sidechain pad breathes in rhythm. High frequency textures shimmer like distant reflections on glass. A faint reversed vocal fragment appears for a second, then disappears again. Bassline re-enters, smoother than before, less movement, more weight. Everything feels closer, but heavier. Like the moment didn't end. It just settled deeper. You stayed a little longer still, like something in you couldn't leave, but not enough to turn around, not enough to fully breathe. Your silence wasn't empty now, it carried something undefined, a quiet shift beneath the calm, like distance forming in your mind. You leaned into the space we had, but didn't close it all the way, like holding on to what was left, while slowly letting it decay. Your touch was softer than before, but somehow harder to believe, like something warm that still exists, but doesn't know how to remain. I felt it drifting through your skin, the hesitation in the flow, not pulling back, not holding on, just something in between the two. And every second stretched again, like time was trying not to move, but still it slipped between our hands. No matter what we tried to prove, I watched the moment stay alive, but only just enough to feel like something balanced on the edge between illusion and the real. You didn't say what changed inside, but I could hear it in your breath, a softer rhythm, slightly off, like something slowly turning less. Closed hats become more consistent, adding subtle forward motion. Bassline rolls deeper with slight modulation. A warm chord stab repeats, a warm chord stab repeats, a distant melodic layer appears, stretched, ambient, almost ghost-like. It never fully resolves, just hovers, no spaces intentional. This is where the tension breathes. Your touch is fading in the dark, still leaves a shadow on my heart. I try to hold what won't remain, but every second feels the same. Your touch is softer than before, but slipping slowly through the core. stir. Fading tale of part one, low filtered down. From the fading tale of part one, a low filtered down. From the fading tale of part one, a low filtered down. Kick returns softer but deeper, more grounded now. From the fading tale of part one, a low filtered down. From the fading tale of part one, a low filtered down. From the fading tale of part one, a low filtered down. From the fading tale of part one, a low filtered down. From the fading tale of part one, a low filtered down. From the fading tale of part one, a low filtered down. From the fading tale of part one, from the fading tale of part one, from the fading tale of part one, a low filtered down. From the fading tale of part one, from the fading tale of part one, from the fading tale of part one, from the fading tale, from the fading tale of part, from the fading tale of part one, a low filtered down. From the fading tale of part one, but deeper and more grounded now. Sudan kalamen çözülmeden alt frekansta derin bir su hissi yükselir. Kick geri gelir ama daha yuvarlak, daha ağır, daha az ritim, daha çok ağırlık hissi. Arka planda bir analog arp başlar. Yumuşak, döngüsel, hafif detone. Her tekrarında mikro değişim, padler artık daha koyu, daha kalın, daha içeride. Stereo alan geniş ama merkez boş değil. Her şey seni içine çekiyor. Zaman hissi bulanıklaşır. Başlangıç yok, sadece devam var. It didn't break, it didn't fall, it never reached that kind of end. It just became a quieter shape that I could feel but not defend. You are still there, I know you were, but not in ways that I could hold. Like standing right inside the room while slowly turning into cold. Your presence lingered in the air, but lost the weight it used to keep. Like something drifting out of reach without a reason, without a no pain, just something softer, undefined, like letting go without release, like losing shape inside your mind.
Belirgin hali gelir ama agresif değil, hipnotik. Bassline derinleşir, daha az hareket, daha fazla yoğunluk. Kick sabit, anchor gibi, yeni uzak clapler. Granular texture hissi.
Arada gelen reverse, transientler patlar dalga gibi, yükselip iner. Melodik bir motif oluşur ama tam oluşmaz. Her loop'ta biraz değişir, vokal tamamen yok. Zihin art müziğin içinde. Your touch is fading piece by piece, turning into memory. Still alive inside my skin, but already losing me. Your touch is softer every time, like it was never fully mine. It stays just long enough to feel, then disappears before it's real. We're somewhere lost between the lines, between the truth and the disguise. A place where nothing needs to stay, but nothing fully goes away. Your touch is fading into space, still leaves a shadow in its place. I feel it moving out of form, but still it lingers in the wall. Don't try to hold what's almost gone, don't try to turn it into wrong. We're in a state that doesn't break, just slowly shifts with every breath. Your touch is fading, I can feel the way it bends, but won't reveal a shape that once was clear and close. Now just a trace I almost know. Your touch is fading into light, not dark enough to call it night, not real enough to make it stay, just slowly drifting out of place. Stay in the moment, let it blur. Don't try to name what we once were. Your touch is fading into me, but not the way it used to be. From the blurred tale of part 3, a long reverb swell rises like a breath that never fully releases. The kick returns, softer at first, but heavier in emotional weight. Not pushing forward, just existing. Pads bloom wide and thick, layered in warm saturation, almost tactile. A distant piano-like tone appears, barely audible, repeating slowly. A reversed melodic fragment drifts in and out, like memory folding into itself. The atmosphere feels dense now, not crowded, but emotionally full. Everything is slower, everything is deeper, like the night has finally reached its core. I think we felt it long before. The moment tried to turn into truth, not in a way that asked for change, but something quieter breaking through. You held me like you almost stayed, but not enough to make it real, like something pulling from beneath the surface we refused to feel. Your body stayed, your breath was close, but something deeper pulled away. A quiet fracture in the flow that neither one of us could say. I didn't ask you what had shifted, I didn't and try to pull it back, because the answer lived inside the space we both refused to track. You trace my skin like you still knew, but not the way you used to know. Like memory guiding every move, while something real let go below. There was no moment, no clear break, just something folding into less, a slow undo of everything we never fully could confess. Your eyes stayed soft, your voice stayed low, but neither one could hold the line. We stood inside a fading shape that once was yours and once was mine. I felt the truth inside your touch, not in what state but what it lost. The way it lingered just enough to show me what it used to cost. And in that space I let it fall, not out of strength, not out of peace, but something softer than control, a quiet kind of slow release.
A deep sub-pulse remains constant, grounding everything. Pads swell larger, more emotional, almost overwhelming but still restrained. A melodic layer emerges, slow, repeating, slightly detuned. It feels like it wants to resolve, but never does. A distant vocal texture appears, no clear rhythm shift, just immersion. This is the emotional suspension point. Your touch is fading out of me, but still it lives in memory, a ghost that lingers in my skin, a place where you have always been. Your touch is softer than before, From the blurred tale of part 3, a long reverb swell. From the blurred tale of part 3, a long reverb swell. From the blurred tale of part 3, a long reverb swell. The breath that never fully releases, the kick returns, softer at first, but heavier in emotion. Are we not pushing forward, just existing? Paths bloom wide and thick, layered in warm saturation, almost tactile. A distant piano like tone appears, barely audible, repeated slowly. From the fading textures of part 4, almost nothing remains at first. Just a long stretch pad barely breathing. No kick for a few seconds, just air and memory. A soft distant noise layer, like wind through an empty space, slowly appears. Then gently, the kick returns. Not strong, not leading, just present. A sub-bass hum fades in underneath, round and warm, almost like a pulse fading in slow motion. High frequencies shimmer faintly, like the last reflections of light before darkness fully settles. A minimal chord progression slowly emerges, simple, soft, unresolved. Everything feels weightless, like the night has already passed, but hasn't left. Now everything feels quieter here, not empty, just without a name. Like something once so close and clear, I slowly drifted out of frame. I don't reach out the way I did, I don't try to make it stay. There's something softer in the loss that lets it move without delay. Your presence lives in smaller ways, not in your voice or in your touch, but in the space you used to fill that still remembers just enough. I feel you in the in-between, not fully gone, not fully near. A kind of echo in the air that only shows when I'm right here. Ooh, there's no more tension left to hold, no edge between the stay and go. Just something gently settling down into a place I almost know. I thought I needed something more, a final word, a clearer end, but now I see it didn't break, it only chose another bend. You didn't leave, you didn't stay, you changed into a softer form, something I carry without weight, something that no longer feels torn. And in that shift I start to see, never asked for more than this. A moment stretched into a trace, fading unfinished bliss. Kick becomes lighter, almost transparent. Bassline simplifies, long, sustained notes, minimal movement. Pads expand again, but now thinner, more airy, less dense. A soft melodic motif appears, slow, repeating, fragile. Each repetition slightly different, slightly dissolving. Percussion nearly disappears. Faint hats, distant echoes, barely. They're transients, no vocal. This is not tension anymore. This is release without closure. becomes a low, distant hum, then disappears. From the fading textures of part 4, almost nothing remains at first. Just a long stretched pad, barely breathing. No kick for a few seconds. Just air and memory. A soft distant noise layer, like wind through an empty space, slowly appears, then gently the kick returns. Not strong, not leading, just present. A sub-bass hum fades and underneath, round and warm, almost like a pulse fading in slow motion. High frequency shimmer faintly, like the last reflections of light before darkness fully settles. A minimal chord progression slowly emerges, simple, soft, unresolved. Everything feels weightless, like the night has already passed, but hasn't left. Now everything feels quieter here, not empty, just without a name. Like something once so close and clear has slowly drifted out of frame. I don't reach out the way I did. I don't try to make it stay. There's something softer in the loss that lets it move without delay. Your presence lives
From the near silence of part 5, a very faint low-frequency hum begins to rise again, almost like something restarting, but not quite. No clear rhythm at first, just a distant pulse, irregular, like breathing after everything has already settled. A thin pad slowly fades in, much lighter than before, almost transparent. It carries no weight, only presence. Fragments of previous harmonic tones appear briefly, then dissolve before they can fully form. A soft ticking texture emerges, not percussive, more like time echoing. Then, a ghost kick, not stable. It comes, disappears, returns again slightly off-grid. The track doesn't restart. It remembers itself.
It's different now, the way it feels. Not something lost, not something near, just something drifting through the space that used to hold you clearer here. I don't reach for what it was. I don't try to trace the line. It lives somewhere beyond the form, somewhere outside of yours and mine. Your touch is no longer a shame. It doesn't sit inside my skin. It's something softer than before, something that moves without within. I feel it in the way things slow, and how the silence starts to bend, like something never truly gone, just never fully here again. There's no more question left to ask, no thought we were has slowly lost its outer face.
A deeper sublayer returns, but softer than ever, more like a distant resonance than a bassline. The ghost kick stabilizes slightly, but stays minimal and spaced out. Pads expand wide again, but thinner, stretched across the stereo field like fog. A fragmented melodic motif appears, pieces of earlier melodies, but rearranged, incomplete. Percussion is abstract, distant textures, soft granular noise bursts. No central groove, no clear progression. This is not movement. This is continuation, without direction.
Your touch is somewhere past the air, not something I can feel or wear. It doesn't stay, it doesn't leave. It's something I no longer need. Your touch is not a fading line, not something lost, not something mine. It moved beyond what I could hold, into a space that won't be told. We're not the same as we once were, not broken, not a distant blur, just something stretched beyond its frame that doesn't answer to a name. Your touch is neither here nor gone. It doesn't end, it carries on, not as a form, not as a trace, but something deeper than a place. There's no more need to bring it back, no need to follow what we lack. It lives somewhere I cannot see, but still exists inside of me. Your touch is past the need to stay, past every word we couldn't say. A quiet thing that flows through time, no longer yours, no longer mine. Your touch is not a memory, not something locked in history. It's something shifting endlessly, a soft, unspoken energy.
From the near silence of part 5, a very faint low frequency. From the near silence of part 5, a very faint low frequency, almost like something restarting, but not quite. No clear rhythm at first, just a distant pulse, irregular, like breathing after everything has already settled. The thin pad slowly fades in, much lighter than before, almost transparent. It carries no weight, only presence. Fragments of previous harmonic tones appear briefly, then dissolve before they can fully form. A soft ticking texture emerges, not percussive, more like time echoing. Then a ghost kick, not stable. It comes, disappears, returns again slightly off grid. The track doesn't restart, it remembers itself. It's different now, the way it feels. Not something lost, not something near, just something drifting through the space that used to hold you clearer here. I don't reach for what it was, I don't try to trace the line. There is no clear return, no identifiable beginning, only a faint, almost imperceptible harmonic field, like sound remembering itself from far away. No kick, no pulse, just a suspended tones, slowly modulating in texture rather than pitch. A distant high-frequency shimmer flickers, then disappears before it can settle. Silence is no longer empty. It feels inhabited. A reversed breath like swell passes through once, soft, human, but untraceable. Then nothing again. Not absence, just presence without form. There's nothing left to recognize, no shape to follow, no return. What once was close has moved beyond, into a place that doesn't turn. I don't remember how it felt, not in a way that I can name. It's something softer than recall, something untouched by loss or gain. Touch is not a distant thing, not something buried in the past. It never stayed and never left. It simply didn't need to last. I try to feel where it once was, but there's no edge, no defined space. Just something moving without a trace, a quiet shift without a place. There's no more you the way I knew, no version left that I can hold. Not gone, not here, not in between, just something shapeless, uncontrolled. It doesn't echo anymore, it doesn't fade, it doesn't stay. It exists outside of time and something I can't push away. I don't resist, I don't accept. There's nothing left to rearrange, because the moment passed the point where it could ever really change. And in that space there's something new, not born from loss, not born from you, but something quiet, undefined, a deeper state beneath the mind. A single low-frequency wave fades in and out. Not rhythmic, not stable. Granular textures scatter lightly across the stereo field. Random, but somehow cohesive. A broken melodic fragment appears briefly, then stretches, distorts, dissolves. No groove, no repetition. Sound behaves like memory without structure. Layers overlap without syncing, yet nothing clashes. It feels like listening from inside the sound, not outside it. Your touch is not a thing I feel, not something distant, not something real. It doesn't live, it doesn't fade. It's something that was never made. Your touch is past what I can know, past every high and every low. Not lost, not found, not gone, not here. Just something that became unclear. We're not a story left behind, not something time can redefine. We move beyond what we could be, into a quiet entropy. Your touch is not a fading trace, not something tied to time or place. It doesn't stay, it doesn't leave. It simply doesn't need to be. There's no more weight, no more design, no yours, no mine, no yours and mine. Just something drifting endlessly, without a form, without a key. Your touch is not a memory, not something shaped by history. It's something looser, undefined, a quiet absence in the mind. All elements begin to thin even further. The low-frequency wave stretches, then flattens into silence. High textures flicker, then stop returning. granular particles fade one by one. The harmonic field collapses into a single tone. Then that tone fades beyond audibility. No reverb tail, no echo, nothing to suggest continuation. And yet, the silence feels exactly the same as the sound before it. No difference, no boundary. There is no entry point anymore. No fade in, no rise. Just an already existing field of almost silence. So thin it feels like nothing, yet too present to be empty. A microscopic tonal layer exists far in the background, not audible as a note, but felt as a subtle pressure. No rhythm, no motion, even space feels flattened. A distant shimmer appears for a fraction of a second, then never returns the same way again. No direction, no beginning, only continuation without origin. Perceptible subfrequency oscillation fades in, so slow it feels static. High frequency noise particles flicker randomly. No rhythm, no repetition. Harmonic smear stretches across the stereo field, like a sound frozen mid-motion. No layers interact, they simply coexist. No groove, no pulse, no progression, only simultaneous existence. Your touch is not a trace or a line, not something lost within the mind. It doesn't live, it doesn't fade. It's not a decay, just uniform stillness. Then even that distinction disappears. No silence, no sound, no difference between them. Nothing ends, nothing